Sonnet 11. As fast as thou shalt wane, so fast thou growest in one of thine, from that which thou departest. And that fresh blood which youngly thou bestowest, thou mayest call thine, when thou from youth convertest. Herein lives wisdom, beauty, and increase. Without this, folly, age, and cold decay. If all were minded so, the times should cease, and 80 years would make the world away. Let those whom nature hath not made for store, harsh, featureless, and rude, barrenly perish. Look whom she best bestowed, she gave the more, which bounteous gift thou shouldst in bounty cherish. She carved thee for her seal, and meant thereby thou shouldst print more, not let that copy die. Sonnet 12. I hope you're ready for this. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet past prime, and sable curls all silvered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see barren of leaves, which erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the bier with white and bristly beard, then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the wastes of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. And nothing gainst time's scythe can make defense, save breed to brave him when he takes thee hence. Awesome. Sonnet 13. Oh, that you were yourself! But love, you are no longer yours than you yourself here live. Against this coming end you should prepare, and your sweet semblance to some other give. So should that beauty which you hold in lease find no determination, then you were yourself again after yourself's decease, when your sweet issue your sweet form should bear. Who lets so fair a house fall to decay? Which husbandry in honour might uphold against the stormy gusts of winter's day and barren rage of death's eternal cold? Oh, none but unthrifts. Dear my love, you know, you had a father. Let your son say so. Sonnet 14. Not from the stars do I my judgment pluck, and yet methinks I have astronomy, but not to tell of good or evil luck, of plagues, of dearths, or seasons' quality. Nor can I fortune to brief minutes tell, pointing to each his thunder, rain, and wind, or say with princes, if it shall go well, by oft predict that I in heaven find. But from thine eyes my knowledge I derive, and constant stars. In them I read such art as truth and beauty shall together thrive. If from thyself to store thou wouldst convert, or else of thee this I prognosticate. The end is truth and beauty's doom and date. Tough. Hello, this is Sonnet 15, and I have found it very, very difficult. I understand what the overall sense is, but words have different meanings and they seem to leap off the page and confuse me. However, when I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows, whereon the stars in secret I'm going to have to start again. When I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows, whereon the stars in secret influence comment, when I perceive that men as plants increase, cheered and checked even by the selfsame sky, vaunt in their youthful sap, at height decrease, and wear their brave state out of memory. Then the conceit of this inconstant stay sets you most rich in youth before my sight, where wasteful time debateth with decay to change your day of youth to sullied night, and all in war with time for love of you, as he takes from you, I engraft you new. Is that okay? Hello, we're outside because this next sonnet uses growing things as a metaphor for procreation, love, sex. I'm a little uncomfortable with some of it, but anyway, here goes. Sonnet 16. But wherefore do not you a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant time, and fortify yourself in your decay with means more blessed than my barren rhyme? Now stand you on the top of happy hours and many maiden gardens yet unset, with virtuous wish would bear your living flowers. Much liker than your painted counterfeit, so should the lines of life that life repair, which this time's pencil or my pupil pen, neither in inward worth nor outward fair, can make you live yourself in eyes of men. To give away yourself keeps yourself still, and you must live drawn by your own sweet skill. Hello, we've reached Sonnet 17, and that means that we've reached a sort of mini landmark point in these 154 sonnets, because right up to Sonnet 17, Mr. Shakespeare has been writing on one particular theme, trying to persuade this gorgeous young man that he should have a child, not just to continue the family name and reputation, but his own personal beauty. After 17, the tone changes, and I'm thinking I might say a little bit about that tomorrow. But for now, One of my favorite sonnets, 17. Who will believe my verse in time to come? If it were filled with, I'm going to begin again. Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high desert? Though yet, you know what, I've got to start again, I'm sorry. It's desserts and not dessert. Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high deserts? Though yet, heaven knows it is but as a tomb, which hides your life and shows not half your parts. If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say, this poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces. So should my papers, yellowed with their age, be scorned like old men of less truth than tongue, and your true rights be termed a poet's rage and stretched metre of an antique song. But were some child of yours alive that time, you should live twice, in it and in my rhyme. After I finished the sonnet, I think it was yesterday, I thought we'd stop recording, and I said, was that all right? Actually, that was not addressed to my viewers. It was addressed to my wife, and this is the appropriate moment to give her the credit as my cinematographer and set designer. Sonny, thank you so much. Hello. I think the moment has come for me to tell you something about this book I've been reading for the past 2 weeks. Well, it's an American edition of the Sonnets, and it was produced by the Folger Shakespeare Library, a great institution. The editors are Barbara A. Mowat and Paul Werstein. And because we're at a very important place in these sonnets, I want to read something from their introduction. The poet, William Shakespeare, begins with a set of 17 sonnets advising a beautiful young man to produce a child. These poems of advice modulate into a set of sonnets which urge the poet's love for the young man, and which claim that the young man's beauty will be preserved in the very poems that we are now reading. This second set of sonnets, 18 to 126, which in the supposed narrative celebrate the poet's love for the young man, includes clusters of poems that seem to tell us of such specific events as the young man's mistreatment of the poet, the young man's theft of the poet's mistress, the appearance of rival poets who celebrate the young man and gain his favour, and the poet's separation from the young man through trouble or through the young man's indifference, and the poet's infidelity to the young man. So here we are, and we are at perhaps the most well-known sonnet in the book. Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Of course, I would mess this up, wouldn't I? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a note. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. but thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe and eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Sonnet 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleet'st, and do whatever thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one most heinous crime. O carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow, for beauty's pattern to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst, old time, despite thy wrong, my love shall in my verse ever live young. Strong stuff.